Okay, so here we go. This is a better, newer version of the VeggieMan. I'm going to show you each of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Selection tools. There we go. It's late. I'm tired. So there are lots of selection tools if you go into the VeggieMan assignment. So I'll pull that over just so that we can take a quick peek. We're going to talk about the rectangle tool, the ellipse tool, free select, fuzzy. Those are the major ones. Okay, and we'll come back to this. But these are the major ones that we're going to focus on. Is these four for the VeggieMan. We'll come back around to the other ones. I just wanted to make sure that you understood that there were 8 of them. Again, here's the file for you to download. Just click on it, download, and then open it up in GIMP. Notice that there are no white edges, blah, 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 blah. Okay? I'm going to move that out of the way. All right, so the first tool is the ellipse tool. I can choose by clicking on it, or I can use the hotkey E. I had a little brain fart. I just did a different class, so I'm a little bit discombobulated. So I'm going to use my ellipse tool, E, to make a selection around the blueberry. So notice how I'm kind of working it so that I don't get a lot of the white. Actually, I think that's pretty, well, I could probably bring that in one. There you go. I think that's all right. So I'm going to notice how it's marching. You see how those dashes, the white and black dashes, are moving? That's telling me that the program actually has something to select. And that something is the alpha. That is the color. Okay, alpha is color. So I'm going to copy. So I can copy with my shortcuts, or I can go to edit, copy. I'm using keyboard shortcuts, so Control C. Now I can Control V to paste. And it pasted that. Now remember, in order for the computer to be able to do anything, or let's rephrase that, in order for GIMP to do anything, you need to deal with your pasted layer first. And the way you deal with that is you double click on it and name it. So this is going to be my right pupil. Enter. And you can kind of see it right there. You can kind of see it. Okay, I'm going to get my move tool, M, click and move. Okay. Now, the move tool is not a selection tool. It is a move tool. There's 2 different ways for move to work. If I have it over a layer that's active, it's going to behave like this. Do you see how that is? The little crosshairs with the 4-way arrows. If I move it onto a layer that is not active, it's going to ask me, do you want to pick it? So that's the finger, the pointer. So look at how different that is. That's significantly different. The visual cues are huge when you're working with a computer. Visual cues are the number one way, well, yeah, it's the number one way, I would say, to give feedback, how a computer gives you feedback. What it will do is it will also make a noise for other feedback. But generally in a program, it's not going to constantly beep and beep and beep and beep and beep at you. It's going to give you visual feedback, and it's up to you to understand that visual feedback. So you got to really pay attention to the details. Now you can also see which layer is active because it's got the yellow and black outlined dashes. So that tells me, and you can see over here it's black or darker gray. If I select on this layer, okay, oops, I hit wrong. If I select this layer, notice that this is no longer outlined because this entire layer is now selected. Do you see that? See how the black and yellow is there? And if I zoom out, you can see it all the way around. All right. I'm going to get my move tool. Now notice right here, see how it's switched? This is my move. I want to undo, and then I can pick a layer. Do you see how that works? Remember the right and left, you can have them on either side. Just make sure that all the right are on the same side and all the left is on the same side. Okay? You can pick the side you want to put the right and left on, and then just make sure you put all the rights on the same side and make all the lefts on the right on the same side. Now, I don't have to redo that. I can duplicate. Boom. There. Now I do need to rename that layer. So I double click on it, left, pupil. You see that? There we go. And then come here. Notice, look at that. See how it's changing? There we go. I'm not going to bother showing you the caret because it's the ellipse tool as well. So the next one, I'm going to backtrack and use the rectangle tool for selection. And I use the radish to demonstrate this because it's kind of actually neat. I can show two different tools in one. So I'm going to, whoa, what did I do? I moved it, undo. I didn't activate my tool. I need the R tool to get the select angle. Also be careful that there are 4 modes for every select. 4 different modes. Did you see that? 4 different modes. Okay, and each mode is pretty self-explanatory. It replaces the current selection. I can add to a current selection, and I can subtract from a current selection, and then I can do the intersection only of 2 selections. That's kind of neat. So when you want to kind of just do the inside of a selection, you can get that. Notice it also has hotkeys. Okay. And I want to make sure I'm on the replace. So I'm going to, there we go. Notice it is not marching. They're static and it's grayed out. That's because there is nothing in that specific XY coordinate for it to select. It's empty. It's up here. This is the active layer. There's nothing for it to select there. I have to click on the bottom layer where my content, where my alpha, where my colors, where my pixels are in order to get a active selection that I can copy. So Control C to copy, Control V to paste. Now notice it's still marching because it's still, I'm going to double click and I'm going to say that this is my right eyebrow. Now you can see it, right? If things get a little challenging for you, you can always turn off different layers so that you can work with those, the layer that you're actually working with. It's up to you on how you want to do that. So that's the rectangle tool. Now the fuzzy select tool. We talked a little bit about this. In cohort B, we talked about this, but in cohort A, we have not talked about this. There is a threshold component to the fuzzy select tool. And it's really important that you remember what that does. So remember, I'm going to zoom in here like crazy. Okay, so these are all the pixels, right? Lots and lots of pixels. So when I click, whether I click when I'm this close or when I click when I'm way out here, it doesn't matter. Wherever I click, I am clicking on one point within the file. On this one, if I go down here, this is going to be my X and Y coordinate. So I'm going to click on the 228 pixel by 216 pixel. Do you see that? That's the X and Y. X is along the top here, right? And then the Y is along the bottom, on the side, okay? When I click on a pixel, I have one color, okay? What I want to do is I want to tell it the threshold, how many more colors and how many more colors from the top and the bottom. So let's say I pick, I'm going to do 30. I'm going to do a perfect 30. Whoops, double click, perfect 30. Let's say I clicked on color 40. It's going to add 30 to that, so 70, and it's also going to subtract 30 from it. It's going to create a range. So now it's going to pick colors from 10 all the way up to, what did I say? It was 40, 70, right? So from 10 to 70. Now, just to give you a sense of that, look at how many different shades of green there are, so many different shades of brown there are. Do you see what I mean? So we need to be careful, all right? There's some reds, there's some tans, there's all kinds. Oops, sorry. Let's zoom out a little bit. And then there's also some, look at out here. Do you see all those? Oops, 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 oops. I wasn't holding down the key. Do you see? We've got some purples and greens and pinks. Look at all those colors, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new selection based off my threshold on one click. I'm going to zoom out here and I'm going to pan. I'm holding down the middle mouse button and control, click and drag, okay, and click. Did I get everything? No. Now I could do add, right? And I can come in here and add and add and add and click and click and click, 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 click. Oh, goodness, right? No. I'm going to go select none. And what am I going to do? I'm going to bump that way up, way up. My goal is to get as much as I can of all the color. Now, white is pretty distinctive, right? Okay. I can do this two different ways. I can deal with trying to select the radish, or I can pick the white. I'm going to show you how you do it when you pick the radish. So I'm going to keep going here. So how'd that do? That's pretty good, right? There are a bunch of extra artifact kind of stuff on the end. That's the halos. That's the outside white edges. And we don't want that. So the tricky way to go and get rid of that is to shrink my selection. So go to select, shrink it. I'm going to try shrinking it by 1 pixel all the way around. Do you see that? That's better. Much, much, much better. Okay, so I'm going to copy. Ooh, yeah, I'm on the right layer. It's moving. I'm going to copy and paste. Okay. Now I'm going to make this I'm going to cheat here. I'm going to come back to this one. Oh, look, it won't let me do it. I have to name this. So I'm going to name this R eyebrow. Okay. I'm going to change this one just to eyebrow, because I'm going to turn this layer off in a second. So I have that. It's right there if I go and get the move tool. Now, yes, technically I have 3 of them stacked. I have this one, then this one with some white, and then this one. Okay. Now the top one is this one. So if I wanted to move this one, I would need to make sure that I was using the active layer. Do you see that? So now I can click anywhere. Do you see that? I didn't have to actually click on it. I'm going to undo. I'm going to do it again. I'm way over here. Because I have the active layer feature here, I do not have to worry about accidentally picking the wrong layer. I just make sure that the layer that I want to move is active, and I can click anywhere. I'm going to zoom out here. I can click way down over here and still move it. Do you see that? Okay. Undo. I'm going to zoom back in. So I need to make that active, and now I can move it. Do you see that? I can move it. All right. Zoom out. Oh, tilt. I always forget. That's a new thing. View, 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 view. There we go. And I got to do control. Oh, phooey. I don't have the move tool active. There we go. Ah, really? All right. View. And I want to change my fill. There we go. I'm tired. All right. Move. This is going to be the right. Now I got to check. Is this the right? Yeah. So the two rights are on this side. I'm going to come back to this one. And I'm going to do the fuzzy select a different way. So I'm activating the fuzzy select. I'm going to make sure it's a new selection. And I'm going to be careful, and I'm going to turn it down a little bit here. There we go. And do you see the difference? Let's see. Why is it weird? All right. There you go. That's a little bit better. What is it doing? There's two. Remember, I'm using the fuzzy select, and I selected the white this time. I'm going to turn this off so you can see it. Do you see it? I'm going to turn it back on so you can see it. So there's an outside, and then there's an inside. Now, this is different. With this one, I selected the radishes. So all that was selected were the radishes. So I would need to shrink my selection. Here, I want to technically grow my selection. I want to make this area bigger. Obviously, it's not going to go this way. It's going to go this way into. So select grow, and I'll grow not by 10. I'll grow by 1. Hit OK. Do you see the difference there? Okay. Yeah, it did a little bit. See how it went outside? Do you see that? See how it went outside? Why? All of a sudden, I cannot zoom in anymore. Isn't that weird? I can go side to side. Oh, there we go. Well, that's just weird on how that's working. All right, never mind. So you can see the dashes on the outside that are not moving. That's telling me it grew outside the layer, but it's only going to select the alpha that's available. So now I'm going to hit delete. Watch over here. I'll turn this off too. I'm going to hit delete on the keyboard, and there we go. It got rid of all the white. All right, and it did a pretty good job. I'm going to do Control Shift A. Control Shift A deselects. Now, we got a problem, don't we? I'm going to turn this back on. Moving and duplicating the blueberry was simple, right? But I need to flip this. These are your transforming tools. You can crop, you can transform, unify transform. Okay, you can rotate, you can scale. Let's see if it will give it to you. There you go. We can shear, we can flip. I'm going to activate the flip tool. I did. And now notice what it's doing. It's going to flip up and down. That's not what I want. So let's see if it will give it to me. Oh, isn't that weird? I'm not sure why it's only giving me weird. So layer, transform, flip horizontally. So let me check something here. So reverse the layer selection path horizontally or vertical. I don't know why it's not giving me. See how it's only giving me. Maybe I need to have everything selected on that, right? So what I'm going to do here is I'm showing you something new. This is completely new. None of you have seen this. I'm going to right click on the layer, alpha to selection. So what that does, and if you can read the small print there, you can select all the pixels on that layer. That's the alpha. Okay. So on that particular layer, do you see? Now it's selected just the radishes, and it's still only giving me that. Weird. Anyway, all right. So we're going to go up to layer, transform, flip horizontally. Okay. It's fine. Okay. So we did it. I'm going to deselect again. Remember that other radish, the one that's not selected, is underneath. I'm going to go Control-Shift-A to deselect, get my move tool. Notice how, right? And plop it over there. Ooh, what do I need to do? I need to name it. So this one here is the left eyebrow. Now notice that I did not copy and paste this one. I just used it. Okay. I didn't need to copy and paste it. I just used it because I had already copied and pasted. Then I had copied and pasted it for the right one. And then I just used that first copy and paste to make this one. Okay, so we've talked about the rectangle tool, we talked about the ellipse tool, and we talked about the fuzzy tool. Now let's go talk about the free select tool. The free select tool is new. It's been this way now for a little bit. What they did is they made it so that it has two different types of functions. It does the same thing, but how you get there is different. Okay, the Bezier curve or the path tool, that's this tool right here. It's weird on how, there we go. The paths tool, or the more official name of it is Bezier curve. It's French. I have no idea where it came from. Maybe one of you French people who are taking French or whatever can tell us. I don't know. This tool is very robust. It is very complex to utilize. So what they did is they tweaked out the free select tool so that you can use it as a free select. So click, drag, and draw around something. There. And if I'm on a layer that has content, has alpha, I can select that. So I could copy paste, deal with that layer. And this is junk, right? Get my move tool and I can move it. All right. And I'm going to come here and delete that layer. So that's the one way of using the free select. The other way of using the free select is to use it as if it's the path tool. Okay. I'm going to zoom. Isn't it's like so annoying. Let's see. And I did it again. Reset. So let's see. See, I haven't. They keep changing the shortcuts on me. I want to move. All right, I'm going to use the pan tool. There we go. There you go. All right, so get back to my free select. It's F to get there. All right, so here we go. Boom. Click, release, click, release, click, release, click, release, click, right? Okay, so I'm going to just talk as I'm doing this. Hopefully I can do the two things at once. I don't know. I might not be able to. As you can see, I really can't. All right, so what I'm doing here is I'm creating little paths. Here I'm getting even shorter because I don't want to have sharp. Do you see how I'm doing that? I'm getting it so that it doesn't have little, see how that you can have a really sharp. Okay, and I'm going to have to come back here and move this. Do you see that? And then I'm going to move this one. There you go. And then all right, so I'm going to just be ugly here. You'll lose points if you do it this bad. I'm not doing too bad, but I could do a lot better. So I'm clicking and releasing, clicking and releasing, clicking and releasing. Here, nice sharp bow tie. And then this one, this one, this one. And then here you can actually see a good demarcation between the two. Got to watch out for that shadow. I notice because I want it to be smoother here, I'm really tight. And here I can get away with getting a little bit longer. Can I go all the way? Yeah, why not? And yeah, that's good enough. I'm looking at it. This is little, but I can fix that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can fix. See how I can go in here and I can see my selection, what it is. And if I wanted to, I think I can add. No. Does it say that I can? No. I thought you could modify, like add one. I'll have to double. Oh, what is it? Add to the current selection. I should have checked that. So that's all new selection. There we go. This one should come out a little bit more. There we go. So that's pretty good. All right. And it's on the right layer to get the stuff. So copy paste. Deal with it. Bow tie. Bow tie. All right. Zoom out. That's just weird, right? That worked right. Weird. Okay, get my move tool and put it down there. So notice how clean that is. Obviously, close up, it looks horrible, but from a distance, it looks good. All right. Now, I did show this in class, and I'm going to show it again because it's kind of neat on. Is it dependent on the layer? So weird. So, no. Go this way. There we go. I got to practice that. I'm doing poorly. Fuzzy select. Okay, I can make, oh, that's free select. What's fuzzy? You. Okay, so what I want to do here is I want to cheat. There's a couple of different ways I can make this selection. I can use the free select tool, and I can come in here. Boom, 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 boom. But this is very poor. I'm doing this to save your sanity so that you're not stuck watching this forever. Now, remember, I also talked about making sure that the ear, oops, I missed, that the ear is arched to fit the melon. So that's one way of doing it. And I would do copy paste here. This is a poor selection. Okay, I'm not going to make you wait 5 minutes while I make a decent selection. So that's one way. I'm going to escape so I can get out of that. Another way is to use the actual fuzzy select tool. So let me see. I got it set to 35.3. Let's see if I can be clever. Ooh, I need to add. Ooh. Wonder. Ooh. So I could keep doing that, right? I can keep doing that. Let's see what this one does. All right. And I'm going to do those. Okay, so now I have, crash and burn. Undo. Now I have some random ones that I missed. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come in here with my free select. I'm going to add to the current selection, and I'm going to draw. That's awful. I am going to draw around them. So I'm going to click, hold, and drag. Click, hold. Oh, I have to hit enter. Click, hold, and drag. Hit enter. Do you see what I'm doing here? Click, hold, and drag. Hit enter. Now, when it's something like that, I can do that for all the million of them that are there. Or I can come in here and be very clever and use the rectangle tool. Okay, and if I'm correct, let's see, I'm being clever here. Let's see. What's going to happen? What's going to happen? I'm going to replace the current selection. So I'm going to undo. I'm going to make sure that I am adding So try again. Did I get it? Did I get it? I got all of them. Boom. So now I have this little problem over here. I got to hit enter to set that. I'm going to see if, and then I'm going to pan. I should never do SketchUp. Okay, I do SketchUp first, and then I'm all screwed up when it comes to GIMP. I should do GIMP first. So I have a problem here. I know that I don't want this one. Okay, and I'm going to keep with my rectangle tool, and I'm going to subtract from the current selection. And I'm going to go from way out here. Do you see what it's doing? It's selecting the pixels. That was pretty slick. Enter. Set it. Do you see what it's cut there? And now I'm going to add. And again, I'm going to come up here to that corner because it's going to pick. Do you see that? And then hit enter. There. Okay. So zoom out. I am going to copy paste. I'm going to have this be my right ear. Right. I'm going to get my move tool. I'm going to move it. Now notice that it has a little lobe. This is where the earring would hang, right? That's how our ears are. We're going to rotate this. So we're going to use the rotation tool and click. And I'm not going to click and rotate. I'm going to actually type in the information that I want. Oop. What I got to do, go minus right here, and then rotate. I'm going to get my move tool. I'm going to slide this over, right? There's lots of different ways to do this. One of the easier ways to do this and the more efficient ways to do this is because this is a selection tool, is to use your selection tools. Yes, I can come in here with the eraser and erase. Okay, I can do that. That's easy, right? I want to do something a little more challenging. I'm going to use my free select tool here. I'm going to come in. Now, mind you, I'm on this layer. So even though I come way out here, okay, it's not going to, do you see what I'm doing? Do you see? So it's only selecting what it can select. It looks like it's trying to select everything inside of it, but there isn't any alpha in some of that with this part. Do you see? I turned it off. There's no alpha there. So I really don't like on how, so that's a little bit better. I can actually move this one here too a little bit. There we go. That's a little bit better. Turn this one back on. So we get a little bit of a problem, right? We want like that. Do you see how I'm changing that up? Now I hit delete on the keyboard. Delete. All right. Now Control Shift A. There we go. Got my right ear. It's on the right side. Now on this one here, I can just duplicate. It was a lot of work. I can duplicate. And then I need to rename this. This is left ear. And I'm going to zoom out. And then I'm going to actually pan over a little bit and zoom in. Get my move tool. Move. Because it is the active layer. Okay. And I have it set to active layer. I need to flip it. Let's see if flip works this time. No. Oh, sorry. Did I just blow out your eardrums? Maybe some of you noticed this. What did I have? Oh, good grief, right? That's why. Transform has, I never bothered looking, and look here where it is. So I need to be careful. So I want to flip my transform tool, and I want to flip it horizontally. Ugh, that's what I get for working late at night, right? And then this one, here we go. All right. And I think those are all the tools that you need to know. So rectangle tool, ellipse tool, free select tool, and the fuzzy select tool. I will talk about the scissors tool and the foreground select tool next week, I think. All right. I think that's everything. That is your VeggieMan process and the specific selection tools.